What is up, hooligans? Happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. Appreciate all of you hooligans being here. We're going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we'll check on all the chats. We were having some sort of issue over on Rumble, so I had to reset the live over there. That's why the intro was so long. My apologies, even though it had nothing to do with me. I called the shop to get an update on the car, and they had to call me back because they were too busy, and I was on hold for a while just to find out that they didn't have time to talk to me. So I don't know what's going on with the car. I was hoping to have an update for all of you, but I don't. Hopefully I will at some point after the live, so make sure you join Gilded or jeffmaclive.com, because everyone who is part of the community gets told first. They're the first to know. I'm removing that old Rumble live that we had there so people aren't confused. If you have a like button on the platform you're on right now, please hit that like button. More likes, more hooligans, Everything seems to be running smoothly, but we'll check through it again in a second. We're going to be starting off with a video titled Mark Meadows Granted Immunity to Testify Before Grand Jury in Trump Case. And it's not just that. They show a little clip of, what's her name, Jenna or whatever that we covered yesterday. They play a little clip of her, I don't know what it is. She wrote a statement and cried really hard. And all these people who are associates of Trump are all turning their back on him. And there's a lot of talk about them testifying against him. And I'm wondering how that propaganda is going to look to a bunch of soft and stupid people. Everybody who's got their mind made up about what's going on here, they're going Trump all day. But the soft and stupid people, they start seeing Trumpers turning their back on Trump. That's gonna look weird. You're gonna see a lot of soft and stupid people looking real prideful on Twitter and TikTok and all that crap, so expect that in the near future. And then we have a video titled Who's Paying for Newsom's Trip to China? Newsom's going to get some of those Chinese doll hairs. Why not? Why not? Old man Walter sold us out. Newsome might as well go there too. Get it done. We might as well send Ted Wheeler there from Portland. We said Adams there. You know, everybody is just totally a piece of shit. Just send them to China. They'll just collect Chinese dollars like old man Walter. And then when we're ready to clean house, sweep them all out of here. It's fine with me. Then we have a video titled Alaska. This is a follow-up from yesterday, and it's titled Alaska Air Off-Duty Pilot Used Magic Mushrooms, the court hears. So we covered a story yesterday discussing why would this air pilot, this plane pilot, put everybody's life in danger at an airport, trying to shut down engines and do all this other stuff. Well, they found more of the story. That's what they think. I have my own speculations about it. We'll cover that when we get there. We'll be wrapping things up with a video titled U.S. States Sue Meta Instagram over kids' mental health. And I'm just thinking, like, about time we found a story on it, because I talk about it every day. Like, almost every day I talk about the effects that social media has on all of us. So now we finally got a story on it. I mean, this is probably the third or fourth one we've had, but it's been a while. So I figured we'd throw that on the roster. I'm trying to think. I want to say there was something else. I can't remember. I made some updates on the website. So if you're on the website, you now have the ability to change how your name displays, because that's been an ongoing issue. I've had to do it for all the hooligans on the website who have wanted their name changed. I've had to do it for them, which isn't a big deal, but I don't want to have to do it for every single person who wants their name changed. So I have found a way to give you guys the ability to do that. If you go to your account settings and you change your username, that will now affect your display name and how it displays. So all of you guys are able to do that. The notifications are now working again for the first time in like a year. So if you have the website saved on your phone, like saved on your home screen, you will receive notifications just like it's an app, even though it's not an app. iPhones seem to be a little weird about it. It's kind of hit or miss on iPhones. That's because iPhone treats their users like a bunch of children. There was a point in time where iPhone users were not able to access our Discord because our Discord was considered not safe for work or whatever, NSFW. And so the iPhone users weren't able to use their virgin eyes to see the stuff on our Discord for a long time, like 6 months. And eventually Apple got over it and they pulled the pacifier out and we're like, okay, I guess you guys are old enough to look at Discord, which is so stupid. But again, iPhone users kind of have trouble with the notification system. It seems to be hit or miss. I don't know. I don't have a lot of troubleshooting with it. If you have issues, write me. We'll work it out. Also, you can change your notifications on your profile. I want to say sorry to Hair Juicer. I woke him up at 3 o'clock in the morning when I was sitting here making modifications to the website. He left me a colorful message letting me know. My apologies. But you do have control over your notifications. You can find it in your profile settings and stuff like that. Just want to get that out there. Yes, I do have another announcement, but we're going to go through the chat first. What's up, Matt? What's up, Annette? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate you guys all being over on the website. Let's see here. Oh, we got to get these likes up over on Rumble. I don't know what's going on over here. Happy freedom, you hooligans. What's up, Serum? What's up, Shannon? Serum, you were first. You were first on this one since I reset the Rumble Live. Gave you a second chance. Ran up there first. Serum. Shannon, Dawn, Astral Hammer, happy freedom, you hooligans. What's up, Elisa? What's up, Girth? What's up, Gonzo? Appreciate you hooligans being here. What's up, Miss Jamie? What's up, Crystals? What's up, Sam? Happy for Sam. You're right here. You've been sneaking in late the last couple days. I know you thought I wouldn't notice, but I'm noticing. You're on time today. I won't mark you tardy today, Sam. I appreciate you being here. What's up, all of you hooligans? What's up, Snooks? Happy freedom. Let's see. What's up, everyone over on Odyssey? I want to make sure Odyssey's running because sometimes it's touch and go. Oh, we look clear. I think it's so crazy how on YouTube it looks like we're in like 480 quality or sometimes 720, but then you go everywhere else and we're like crystal clear. I don't know why YouTube fuzzes up our live. It's like it makes us look like we have overexposure or something. What's up, everyone over on D Live? Happy freedom. Let's see if we're already on the front page. That would be pretty crazy. D Live's been hooking us up with some promotion. We've been on the front page on their carousel or whatever the last couple days. Oh, I can't even tell. It's being funny right now. Straight. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, there we are right there on the carousel on the home page. That's awesome. What's up, Willie Fix It? Happy freedom. Thank you so much for the lemon over on D Live. I appreciate the support. Thank you. You're awesome. Let's see. Mike Johnson is speaker. Oh, really? Did they just pick Speaker of the House? That's interesting. What's up, DeRosa? What's up, everyone over on Kick? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Oh, and I have a new emoji coming to the majority of the free speech platforms, all the ones where we have custom emojis. I have a new orange eagle emoji coming. Be excited about that. It's been a long time coming. I got a t-shirt that goes with it too. Just wait till you hooligans see it. What's up, everyone over on Twitch? Happy freedom. What's up, Tom? What's up, Kirk? What's up, Psycho? Matt, I think you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. What is your name? What's up, Dante? Happy freedom. Oh, GOP still has no speaker. Now I got conflicting information. I seen that they have a new like speaker appointee or something. I don't know. I don't know enough about Congress, but they picked somebody that's not speaker, but it's somebody to represent somebody. I don't know. It wasn't Speaker of the House, so I didn't add it to the roster. Lone Wolf, it is confirmed. Let's see, just reading through the chat. Andrew, new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Okay, so this like just happened then. I don't think we have Speaker of the House stuff on the schedule, so I think we're going to be clear with that. What's up, Jerry? Happy freedom. What's up, High Plains Drifter? Dropping the pumpkin in the chat. What's up, JT3? Happy freedom. What's up, Adam? Appreciate all of you hooligans being here. You know what? I realize you guys need that Rumble link. You need a little Rumble link. Let me drop that really quick. I realized it sounds like I'm making it up when I'm typing in the chat. I was listening to the live yesterday to check the microphone quality because I don't have headphones on. I don't know if you guys realize that. I'm like the only live streamer that doesn't wear headphones. I just wing it. I look at the meters. That's how I can tell if you can hear me or not. I just look at the meters. Part of it's a benefit of being an audio engineer for like 15 years. I don't have to hear myself. I just talk and have an idea of how you hear me. But I was watching the video yesterday just to see what is the quality like. And then when I type, it sounds like cartoons. It's like all chaotic and stuff. Like, yeah, that's all right. That's all right. It's not the ASMR I thought I was providing, but that's okay. I also noticed that I can't seem to take away that goofy emoji thing over here on the YouTube chat. In the settings, I take it away so it's not in the way. And then it's still there in the chat. So just another reason I don't like YouTube, I guess. I have not turned in my application or whatever you want to call it. I have not reapplied for monetization on YouTube. I think the fear of another rejection is just draining all my energy. They want me to make a 5-minute video showing the behind the scenes of everything. Like everything. Like they want to look in my underwear drawer of how I make all my content and everything. They want to know what apps I use to develop the graphics and everything. They want me to explain everything, software and everything. Practically give them my username and password to all my software. Just here's how I do everything. And I think no matter what I do, they're going to reject me because they got their target on me. And they demonetize me for no reason. The reasonings they have is not actually what I'm doing. And so I'm being accused of stuff that's not actually happening. So it's really hard for me to fight that when it's already a giant lie. It's like a diet version of what Trump's going through. But I haven't made the video yet because I just feel like that's a lot of work just to give it to YouTube so they can just tell me to eat shit. And then I have to sit here and feel bad because they're accusing me of stuff I'm not even doing. I don't know. I haven't gone through it. I'll let you guys know when I do, when I'm ready. Let's see. DeRosa will have to take a poll. We'll have to take a poll. Snooks, Mike Johnson has been voted in and House Speaker for sure. Thank you for verifying, Snooks. I appreciate it. Mic drop. Is Mike Johnson the meme guy? It sounds like it. It sounds like it. I don't know. It's just not Jim Jordan or the Orange Eagle, so I'm not quite sure. What's up, Soul for Real? Happy Freedom. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. What's up? Here, Juicer. Sam, just show him the chapstick. I will if they reject me. No, then I'm going to catch a charge. They're like, Jeff's a CSC offender now. Showed his wiener to YouTube and told him to eat shit after he was rejected for the 3rd time. No, can't do that. Can't do that. Let's see. Here, Juice, that's BS. Don't show them anything but the finger. Yeah, they're absolutely getting that. I don't know, maybe I was too stern the last time I did the video. A little passive aggressive maybe. Gonzo, YouTube will be temporary anyways. That's exactly how I feel too. It's like they could remonetize us and then a week later strike us down and take it away all over again. Like I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. I didn't look real great yesterday getting all mad about the live breaking down. I don't want to get into it today about how much I can't stand YouTube. I'm in an abusive relationship with YouTube and all of you guys are watching it and it's highly uncomfortable. What's up, JT3? Welcome over to Rumble. Appreciate you being here. What's up, Lister's wife? I believe you wrote me an email. I will respond to you today. My phone is still a piece of crap, and so it's really been hindering my whole email process on top of me kind of being a procrastinator with emails. It's not that I don't want to write you guys back. I want to give you the appropriate time when I'm responding to you, and I'm so limited on time that I keep like pushing it off, and then next 2 days go by and I haven't wrote anybody back. It's not just you. D-Live has been waiting for me to write them back because they want to do promotion for us on social media and they want me to write them a bio for what I do, which I don't know how to even box what we do. So if you guys want to write me a bio, that'd be interesting. Just send me an email. I'd appreciate it. Just some sort of starting template would be great because I don't know what to tell D-Live. They've been waiting 3 days for an email. So I will get back to you, I promise. Also, I'm going to start checking the P.O. box Monday, I think, because I offered all of you guys free stickers. If you sent me self-addressed envelope, you would get autographed stickers that look like this. So on Monday, I will go check the P.O. box to see how many of you guys sent me envelopes and whatnot. And yeah, that's how we're starting this so far. Got another announcement. Wham! Finally got it up there last night. I think it was midnight when I got it put together. These are 2023 Spooky Hooligan shirts. Did the little Reaper Coffee collab there. I thought it turned out all right. The back says Jeff Mac Hooligan. It's in white. I thought about putting it in green, but the green, I don't know. It wasn't popping for me. So on the back, the Jeff Mac Hooligan logo is in white. On the front, it is what you see. Again, it comes in shirts, shirts for men, shirts for women. I didn't make tank tops because it's cold for Halloween. I figure you guys didn't want tank tops. If you want tank tops, send me an email. I'll make some tank tops for you. Zipper hoodie, pullover hoodie, coffee mugs, and I even made a 1-pint glass because when it's cold and you're in the house, people like to drink beer. At least that's what we do here in Michigan. So I made a 1-pint clear glass that says Spooky Hooligan on the front with the design, Jeff Mac Hooligan on the back, and all white. Go check it out. I think it's the only glass pint cup that I've created on the merch store. So if you'd like to check that out, I'm going to be dropping the links in the chat while we start this first video. And then, as always, if this isn't your design, can't go wrong with Screaming Goat. Let's get twos. Get some doublies. Can't go wrong with the Scream Goat. Everybody loves the Scream Goat. Somebody, or maybe a couple people, went ham yesterday. There was like 4 shirts or something that went with the Screaming Goat. Thank you, Hooligans, for grabbing merch. You guys are awesome. Also want to remind the Lady Hooligans, I made a whole bunch of Lady Hooligan specific items that is like their own thing. Pillows, blankets, comfort things that women like, flip-flops and stuff like that. Go check that out at the merch store. Like I said, I'll drop the link in the chat while we're starting this first video. His face looks crazy, but This first video is titled Mark Meadows Granted Immunity to Testify Before Grand Jury in Trump Case. But this is also going to talk about other people turning their back on President Trump, which of course sucks, but here we go.
Now to our exclusive this morning on a special counsel's prosecution of Donald Trump on charges of trying to overturn the 2020 election. ABC News has learned that Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, was granted immunity to testify before the grand jury as prosecutors were building the case. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky has the details. Good morning, Aaron.
George, good morning to you. Mark Meadows was given immunity in exchange for grand jury testimony earlier this year, right as special counsel Jack Smith was building his case against Donald Trump.
White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows was at the center of power by former President Trump's side in the hectic final weeks of his presidency.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
But when Trump claimed victory in the early hours after the election, sources say Meadows told federal prosecutors Trump was being dishonest because the final results were not in. Sources now telling ABC News Meadows secured immunity from special counsel Jack Smith to testify before the grand jury on a promise what Meadows said will not be used against him. The sources say Meadows also disavowed some of what he wrote in his book, that the election was stolen and rigged, and there was actual evidence of fraud right there in plain sight. The sources say Meadows told the special counsel he saw no evidence of fraud that would have changed the outcome. Meadows is now among a growing number of former aides, allies, and attorneys who have agreed to testify in cases against Trump.
Let's go on the record with 23 SC 188947, State versus Jenna Ellis.
Jenna Ellis, a former Trump campaign lawyer, pleaded guilty to her role in the racketeering conspiracy alleged in Georgia and agreed to cooperate.
If I knew then what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump in these post-election challenges. I look back on this whole experience with deep remorse.
In New York, Michael Cohen, who once said he'd take a bullet for Trump, took the stand in a civil trial that could force Trump to pay $250 million. It was the first time the two men had seen each other in 5 years.
Heck of a reunion.
Cohen testified he had to reverse engineer Trump's financial statements to make Trump seem arbitrarily wealthier, quoting his ex-boss saying, "I'm actually not worth $4.5 billion. I am really worth $6."
Today, Michael Cohen's going to be cross-examined once again by Trump's lawyers. He's been combative, occasionally calling out objection if he didn't like a question Trump's lawyer asked, which a witness can't do. Trump is coming back, too, voluntarily here in court to watch it all, Michael.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC.
You see the grin on that guy's face at the end there? Just so excited, all these people turning their back on Trump. Like blue team isn't a bunch of heathens that eat each other every time they get bored. I'm like, come on now. Come on now. They get so excited about any little bad thing that happens to Trump. I don't know what they're going to do after he runs the second term. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who they're going to hate after that. They're going to feel like they have no purpose. Maybe. I don't know. We see how the protesters went. They went from BLM to the Middle East like overnight. Overnight. I don't know. It's no good. It's kind of hard to believe so many people turning their back on Trump after we watched for hundreds of hours of them repeat all the same stuff that we're used to hearing and standing by Trump and claiming that they support him all day and all that, and now all of a sudden they're turning their back on him. I mean, it's just as disturbing as if we were to watch Matt Gaetz or Lauren Boebert or MTG all of a sudden just denounce any kind of connection to Trump or support for Trump. It would just be like shock. That's kind of what it feels like to see these people who were in court with him and all of that and going to these hearings with Rudy Giuliani and all these people back in 2020, and now they're crying on the stand and saying that they feel remorse. They would have never supported him if they would have known whatever it is. Like they act like they have recollection or like I can't even think of what the word is. Like just inspiration out of nowhere. Just a change of heart. Just if I would have known what I know today, I wouldn't have done it. What is it that you know today that you didn't know back in 2020? What has changed? What has changed? You're being held accountable like for what you said? Well, if you believe what you said, then stand on it. Don't fold like wet tissue paper now. Like, these people act like they're war ready, and then words are making them fold. Like, I don't know. Like they just said, that I think it was Mark Meadows had said publicly that he would take a bullet for Trump, and now he's turning his back on him. Is it the money? Did they get money to do this? Is it that they're scared to go into lockup because they might die? Is that what it is? Because when you go inside, there's no one protecting you. You better know how to fight. You better know how to use these hands, because them COs are not coming to save you, especially if you're a political figure that they don't agree with. Look how the J6ers are treated. You think it's red team in there treating them like that? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think any red team people that were there on J6 we know what side they were on. So, I don't know. Seeing these people turn their back on Trump and seeing how flimsy people are is just disheartening. I don't think it's going to hurt the Orange Eagle stride campaign-wise. I think, like I've been saying all week, I think people got their mind made up, and there's nothing that anyone's going to be able to do that's going to change how people are going to vote in 2024 right now. I don't think so. I think people who are for the Orange Eagle are sticking with the Orange Eagle, and that's that. But it does suck to see so many people turn their back on him, because if they didn't believe what they were saying, they shouldn't have been saying it, and that's kind of the whole point. And so to see him flimsy like that, it's like, okay, don't forget these people that we see flip-flopping and stuff like that, because they're not going to disappear. They'll still be here after this. Just don't forget. I see how people forgot about Antifa and who was supporting them and who was an Antifa live streamer back in the day and who isn't doing all that now, and I see how people forget. Don't forget these people that are turning their back on Trump, because they'll still be around. They'll still be players in the game after Trump does his second term, and don't forget how they were treating him, because these people recognize the rhino. That's what we're talking here. Recognize the rhino. Just saying. We're going to read through the chat really quick, and we're going to move on to the next video. Let's see here, Juicer. She's crying because she's wondering where her family is being held. Could be. They could have leverage over them. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all. That's a big thing with celebrities, is they want access to power and fame and money so badly that they walk right inside the trap and they don't realize it until they slam the gate on them. And then all of a sudden they got them right where they want them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing something to those people behind the scenes to get them to fold in court. I wouldn't be surprised. The government is corrupt. I mean, just anybody who's on TV pretty much is corrupt. Any famous, wealthy, well-connected person is corrupt. They didn't get there by accident. Let's see. And I want to say sorry here, Juicer. I didn't mean to wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I talked about it earlier, but I seen that you were late today. So just want to say sorry I woke you up. I didn't mean to. I was up working late. And if I don't express what's happening right when it's happening, I'll forget. And then nobody even knows that I was doing that. So my bad. And you can change the notifications in your profile settings. Just saying. Let's see. Matt. He shows up, they'll say that he's trying to intimidate people. If he doesn't show up, they'll say he doesn't care. Exactly. He's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Let's see. DCAT, everybody I've talked to can't stand old man Walter. He's only done harm to this country. Absolutely. Same. I've never seen anyone in real life actually support old man Walter. I've only seen it on TV, and it seems to only be those street interviews in New York. That's the only time I see it. Otherwise, I don't ever see anyone supporting not the Orange Eagle, old man Walter. Nobody's backing him. I was talking about that yesterday. The only people who back old man Walter either live on welfare and they don't have any idea of how the world actually works, because they just get a government check in the mail because they're playing the system. They're receiving money they don't actually need help on. Or they just hate America. That's all there is to it, because old man Walter has not benefited any American, no matter who the hell you voted for, blue team, red team, or otherwise. If you're not here illegally, you're not benefiting from old man Walter. I mean, I feel like that's it in a basket right there, just all packaged up. That's what I'm seeing. Derby, can you change my name on Rumble? I cannot. I can't affect your guys' account on Rumble. I can try and assist you and do some troubleshooting, because as you guys see, I do lots of technical overcoming, I guess. I don't want to say I'm an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm an expert at receiving problems and trying my damnedest to overcome them. And if you guys are having technical problems, I'll get in the Oh, I can't. My brain's not working today. I'll get in there with you, and I'll fight that fight with you. So you let me know if you're having technical problems. I like to brainstorm and get things worked out. That's how I actually started that path at 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday to creating a way for users to be able to change their own username. Is, I get a message, I'm having an issue. I'm like, what's the issue? Let's kick its ass. And then, then I'm off. They just let me go, and I go tearing into that problem, and we find a solution. That's how I get down. That's how I like it to go. Let's see. DCAT. They did it to save their law degrees. I'm just saying they're all lawyers, and lawyers always look out for their bottom line. Well, that's probably true too. When they start talking about taking away their privileges to be able to practice law, or however it's phrased, yeah, they work really hard and they pay a lot of money to get those licenses and degrees and stuff. Yeah, I think that's why doctors are corrupt too. Same thing. They know they're supposed to be doing something. They take a what do they call it, a Hippocratic oath or whatever, and then they make questionable choices, and you're like, well, why the hell did you do that? Well, they could be threatened to have their medical license pulled, and that's like castrating them. That's why I built the website, because I didn't like the way YouTube was treating me, and I was going to be damned if they were going to completely castrate me. They can't now. The more hooligans we have on the website, the more powerful we are. I don't want to phrase it like this, but we're like almost InfoWars status. Like, they don't like us to be around, so we had to build our own spot so we could exist. And if everybody decides to band together and ban us because they can't stand us, well, we'll still be a light in the dark over on our own platform. And they can kiss our ass all the way over there. Just saying. Just saying. Let's read through a little bit more and we'll be moving forward. We don't have a terrible lot of news today. We only got 4 videos today, so not really rushing through it. DeRosa Deep State Blue. Yep. If KJP was live today, that's what she'd be wearing. Thank you so much, Mr. Beansy Beans, for gifting a sub over on Twitch. And I appreciate you, Mr. Beansy Beans. Thank you for all the support. You're awesome. So for real, cool shirt. I'm glad you dig it. No promises that you guys will receive them in time for Halloween. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. If you got them today, that'd be the best. I know that's some real marketing right there, but if you want to try and receive your Spooky Hooligan shirt for Halloween, you'd have to try it today, because sometimes they take a while to ship out. Oh, I appreciate you, Snooks. What's up, Melvita? Happy freedom. Melvita, I think it will all work out for President Trump, no matter how it looks. I think so. I think it'll work out. Their goal right now is to try and sever the connection between us and him. That's what they're trying to do, because they can't stop him. All they could do is try and make him look bad to all of us. And if push comes to shove, they might try and take him away from the supporters, take him out of the public eye by incarcerating him. Even if he was incarcerated, he can still run for president. So I don't know. It's a bunch of, well, it's just propaganda. That's really all it is. It's propaganda. It's proactive propaganda. Like, normally propaganda is passive. News and stuff just puts these little bugs in your ear and says these things over and over again until you remember it and then say it to other people. And what you're saying and what you're believing isn't true. That's passive propaganda. This is active propaganda, where they're actually doing stuff to him and they're saying, look, he's a bad guy. That's why we're doing this to him. We wouldn't do it if he wasn't a bad guy. And so people see it and they go, wow, he must actually be a bad guy, or the justice system wouldn't be coming for him. This is a proactive version of propaganda that's happening to him. But I think other than the smoke and mirrors, I think it'll work out for him. He's got enough money. That's the other thing that makes me feel like people are turning their back on Trump in court, because I don't think they can financially hang. Trump can, but these other people, I don't think they can. I don't think they can survive being starved in court, where they just reschedule court dates over and over again, and every time you show up, you got to give your attorney $10,000. How many days can you show up in court before you're broke? And the court knows that. So they'll schedule days and then an hour before court starts, they'll cancel it and reschedule it. Well, you still have to pay your attorney. They still showed up, even though they didn't do anything. And they'll just keep doing that until you go broke, until you can't afford to defend yourself. What's up, Anthony? Happy freedom. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. You be safe out there, Annette. I appreciate you being here. We're going to move on to this next video. It's titled, Who is Paying for Newsome's Trip to China? Out there in China. You're going to hear clashing music in the background because they decided to put music in the background of some of this video. And I'm not taking no copyright flags from YouTube's bullshit today. So I'm going to play my beats over their beats. It's going to sound like crap, but we're here for the words, not the background music. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's get it started.
Welcome back, friends. Governor Newsome is in the middle of his China tour right now. We've been talking about this for about a week now. He met with the country's president. Photos of his meeting with President Xi Jinping in Beijing. Newsome also signed a new climate-focused memorandum of understanding with the National Development and Reform Commission. Newsome, the first U.S. governor to be in China in more than 4 years.
Today's Why Guy question from Nancy. Who's paying for the governor's trip to China? We have many homeless and other problems here that need attention, end of quote. Well, Nancy, there isn't much known about why or when the governor started thinking about a trip to China, but he arrived on Monday and he returns later this week. Newsome's itinerary shows he planned to visit 5 Chinese cities to talk about climate change and development, among other things. So what's the overall cost? We may have to wait until he gets back. Who's paying? It's a group called the California State Protocol Foundation, a nonprofit. They take philanthropic donations to cover some costs that the governor incurs, especially for foreign travel. Their mission statement, quote, to lessen the burden on California taxpayers by relieving the state of California of its obligations to fund certain expenditures, end of quote.
When the governor traveled to El Salvador in 2019, the California Protocol people picked up the whole tab, but refused to answer questions on the record about how much it cost, according to the Sacramento Bee. That said, for the governor's current trip to China, no California taxpayers are on the hook for this. According to the governor's office, Newsome and his staff are being funded fully by the California State Protocol Foundation. That foundation has also paid for things like the Capitol tree lighting and also the State of the State address. So if you do have a Why Guy question, reach me at my Facebook page, Walt Gray News. You can watch more.
Well, Newsome out there gets some Chinese doll hairs. And then I like how they're like, no, taxpayers aren't paying for Newsome to go there. This random company that no one's ever heard of is paying for him to go there. I'm like, oh yeah, is that a nonprofit? Is that somebody that receives donations from taxpayers so he can go to China and try and broker some deals with the CCP? I mean, California's already rough. What difference would it really be if the CCP was running it? Would it be any different? I can't really tell. It's funny because before all of this, ignorantly, I thought Washington, D.C. was in Washington State. And I think it was easier to believe that because that's where all the weird stuff happens. Like Washington State, Oregon, California, like over there, people just do whatever the hell they want. And in a lot of ways, it's not a fan favorite. Let's see if I can phrase it like that. The things that they like to do over there are things that the majority of the country I don't feel like having decriminalized drugs. Like, you know, just let's make everyone a drug addict. Let's make everyone homeless. Let's just blame everything on mental illness. Let's not hold anyone accountable. Let's catch and release criminals that we have on camera, full evidence of them being a criminal, and we'll just let them go anyways. Because feelings. The rest of the country doesn't seem to agree with that. I mean, New York, Chicago, Atlanta. But outside of that, the majority of the country is like, no, we don't want none of that. We don't want any of that. I was really surprised when I found out where Washington, D.C. was. Just a little shithole right here, like the Midwest. I don't know why we're not up north. I don't know if they saved that title for Canada or how that works exactly. I always feel like Michigan's up north and Canada's just northern Michigan. But that's not exactly true. Either way, it also makes me wonder why Newsom's traveling so much. Are they... Because people still say that they're going to try and switch him out. That they're going to make him... They're going to push him for primary for blue team. I don't know how they could do that this late in the game. But it makes me wonder, is he going out there and making deals so some sleight of hand can happen, and then all of a sudden Newsom's doing well for blue team and just comes out of nowhere, 300,000 million ballots at 3 a.m. Like, things like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to read through the chat really quick, and then we're going to go ahead and move forward. And at those turning on President Trump are POSs. They're traitors. Yep. I know, they were standing by the Orange Eagle acting like they were right on the same page with him, and now they're sitting there crying and folding in court. It's no good. It's no good. What's up, Cody? Happy freedom. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Reading through. Don, nah, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. People on the West Coast can't do whatever they want in a structural, successful way. You can do whatever you want, like turning your kid's wiener inside out and then dressing them up as the opposite gender and then parading them around town and actually expecting pats on the back and being told how brave you are. That's crazy sauce to the rest of the country. I didn't mean people on the West Coast are allowed to have any kind of gun they want, hunt any animal they want, build whatever structure they want, have whatever business they want with full opportunity of success and building structure, actual government agencies and aid that will help you and benefit society. I didn't mean any of that. No, I didn't mean any of that. I didn't mean like constructive, prospering eligibility to do whatever you want on the West Coast. I meant like progressive style. Like you can have 13 different colors in your hair and start a protest at any moment and smell like shit while you're doing it, and it'll be fine and accepted by everyone. Whereas if you come anywhere else in the country and try that shit, people will just hit you with their car and then not even stop. They'll just leave, and then it'll be reported in the news that there was a beached whale that was struck by a vehicle on the intersection of Main and State Street. So that's kind of what I was sorry I didn't deliver that correctly. Yeah, I didn't want everybody moving to the West Coast thinking that you were going to be free. No, that's not what I meant. I described that like crap. My bad. My bad. Didn't mean to mislead anybody. Let's see. And it's quite possible that Newsome could run for 2024. I don't know. Him meeting with the CCP makes me feel funny about that. Because other than that, it's just been a lot of hearsay. But when you see people going to the CCP to make business deals, because that's the only reason people go to the CCP, makes me wonder, what is he trying to get those Chinese doll hairs for? Let's see. Just reading through. Normal times, I don't know if that's exactly how it's going to go. Speedy Girl, yeah, that's what I've heard. There's a couple hooligans that live in Portland, and they talk about how, like, in the city of Portland, it's terribly blue, but then outside of the city is not. It's all Trump flags and red team. I've heard that a lot. It's kind of like that where I live. Everywhere is really, I mean, I don't even want to say red team. They're Trumpers out here. Big homemade Trump signs. People taking their RV and painting "We Love Trump" on the side. It is absolutely Trump country out here. But if you head about an hour south of me to Muskegon, they are not. Those are anti-Trumpers over there. And so I understand what you guys are saying. That Portland is not all of Oregon, but because of the things we've done on the live, that's just like everybody thinks that Detroit is all of Michigan, and it's not even close. But that's the way it is. So unfortunately, that's how a lot of us see Oregon, unless we've been there. We just see it as Portland. Or Washington State, the same way. We just see it as Salem and Olympia, I think their capital is. you know, everywhere we've covered riots. I don't live in the West Coast, so that's all I know of the West Coast is where we've covered the riots and stuff. And a lot of viewers feel that way too. Now, of course, the whole state is not to be condemned. It's only those spots that are on fire on the map. Just reading through really quick. Miss Jamie, background on Speaker Johnson. He believes in God, believes what Trump has been saying. He's against the sending checks overseas. He's against the rainbow community, the rainbow cult. I had 3 or 4 words that I wasn't allowed to say because YouTube's watching. I had to do a little stutter step there. Let's see. He's against the open border and stands firmly with Trump. Thanks for updating me, Miss Jamie. Yeah, because I don't know anything about Speaker Johnson. I'll have to get updated after the live. What's up, Patriots Arc? Happy freedom. Is it hot today? What is going on here? I feel like I ain't sweating like 3 weeks. It's been 40 degrees every day. Now I'm just sitting here sweating. Flipping through really quick, and we're going to start on this next video here. DeRosa, California is a state in which they implement policies first, then they spread to other blue states. It's the test state. I agree. I didn't realize that for a very long time. But prior to doing this, people always told me that even if something's happening in California, if other states don't agree with it, they need to stand up to it immediately, because if it passes in California, other blue states will try and do the same thing. And the more of that happens, the more normalized it becomes. And the more normalized something is, like turning your wiener inside out, the more everybody tries to do it, and it becomes trendy. And everybody wants to do that for a day or two, you know? Like I'm telling you, in 10 years, you're not going to see so many shapeshifters as we do today. I bet in 3 years, you're not going to see as many shapeshifters as we do today. It's just cool right now. Just like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it was cool to be an activist. Everybody was an activist. Now where's I don't even know where you find activists now. They're just missing. Like, unless they're actually connected to the BLM business name, there really isn't real activists anymore. I mean, it's not that there were real activists before, but they're not portraying to be activists anymore. It's not cool anymore. The protesting has severely died down from where it was in 2020. Now, yeah, we got protesters, but they're not the same. They're not activists. They're just out there screaming about Middle Eastern countries for some reason. Let's see. Cash flow, not just blue states, it will be in red states too. Yeah, after the normalization, that's what happens. The blue states taint the population enough to where there's enough awareness being put out there. Every state has blue people and red people, whether your state is red, blue, or purple. And so in your red community, you will still see symptoms of blue mindology going on. So if California's turned their wiener inside out, Minnesota starts doing it, New York starts doing it, Oregon starts doing it, Washington State starts doing it, Washington, D.C. starts doing it, well, then you'll see red states start to have little, like, purple spots inside, because the blue people who live in the red states will start practicing turning their wiener inside out, and then it's all normalized, and then red people are like, you know, maybe we should give that a try. I ain't got nothing to do this weekend. Let's give that a try. And then you see red people start to do this stuff. And the next thing you know, it's like 50-50. It's just everywhere. Everybody's doing, hey, if you turned your wiener inside out, it's awesome. Like, that's how it goes. It's unfortunate, but I've watched it happen. I knew about it prior to doing this, but then since this has happened, since I've started doing this, I've watched it happen a few times. And that was part of the reason why the convoy was raising awareness, not just for what the Emergency Act was doing, which was the whole reason they went to Washington, D.C., was to get them to stop the Emergency Act, because while the Emergency Act is happening, our constitutional rights are in suspension. So they were trying to make it so Old Man Walter would declare that the Emergency Act was over, which happened in this last May. Not because of the convoy, but that was the point of the convoy. After that, the convoy was raising awareness for, when they were heading back to California, they were raising awareness because California was trying to create a bill to cure yourself of pregnancy. I almost said the word, I would have got myself a strike on YouTube. To cure yourself of pregnancy even after the baby's been crapped out. And that's a no-no. We're not sacrificing children here. Like, what the hell's going on? It feels like it's in biblical times or something. But they were trying to do that. As far as I know, that didn't work out. I would imagine people would still be raising awareness about this if that did work out. But that was the whole reason for awareness, not just because of Californians, but because it affects the whole country. If in California they're starting to knock off 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds, the rest of the country might start doing that, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So, yep, I firmly understand what you're laying down there, DeRosa. Let's see. Cash flow. Did you hear that Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis is going to testify against Trump now? Well, the video that we just covered was saying that they had the potential to do so because they've already admitted wrongdoing and taken plea deals and stuff. And they were saying that there was possibility that they were going to testify against the Orange Eagle. And then they were saying that Mark Meadows, I think his name is, that he is testifying against President Trump and he has immunity. So he's going to spill the beans on all the bad things he's done and all the bad things that Trump's done. But then he's also going to be benefiting if he decides to exaggerate that story at all. Like, he could say anything because he has immunity for it. So he could say, yeah, I used to help Trump kidnap babies and throw them in the trunk of my van, and I drove him to his house out in Florida. And I mean, he could say whatever he wants, and the court will just eat it up because they want bad news on Trump so bad. And even if he's like, yeah, I'm the one who was cutting the arms off the baby, like, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. He has immunity. So he could say whatever. He could trump up evidence for these fictional stories, and it doesn't matter for him. He gets full spotlight. Just say whatever you want. They're going to eat up that bad news anyways. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. Reading through. What is this? Bots. Got bots in the chat. Which one of these buttons? Yep. There it is. Gone. What a goner. He's a goner. Just reading through the chat real quick. Oh, Snooks, yep. Bot and Twitch. Yeah, I just got it. Thank you for letting me know. What's up, Christina? What's up, T-Bird? Happy freedom. I'm doing all right. I'm going through things, but who isn't? I hope you're doing all right too. What's up, Connie? I appreciate you being here. Happy freedom. All right, I think we're gonna move forward to this next video here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. And Illinois has a lot more children's hospitals that are performing shapeshifter surgeries. That's messed up. That's messed up. Yeah, here, Juicer. I don't know. I got some pretty stern 2A shirts coming out. I got 2 of them. And it's 2A until I die. 2A all day until I die. And it's a bold statement. We got 2 different designs coming out. That is our new 2A shirts. I'm pretty excited about it. Anyways, we're going to move forward to this next video. It's titled, this is crazy sauce. And I might have to flash the screen between this and the video. You'll still be able to hear everything. But they're going to show a considerable amount of psilocybin mushrooms, commonly known as magic mushrooms. And YouTube has an interesting policy on adult goods, extracurricular activity on the weekends. I didn't know that until they found a little Coca-Cola at the White House, and I started getting suspended. Like I wasn't catching strikes, but my videos were getting restricted. You had to be 18 or older to hear about the Coca-Cola they found at the White House. It was fine for everyone else to say, but when I talk about it, oh my sweet baby Jesus, YouTube just falls apart. Falls to pieces. right in front of all of us. And I can't stand it, talking about a little Coca-Cola at the White House. So with the whole psilocybin mushrooms being on the screen, I don't know what's going to happen because YouTube is watching. Unfortunately, if we could get everybody away from YouTube, we'd stop including YouTube and we wouldn't have to do silly songs and dances like this. But until that day happens, you're going to watch this video flash back and forth between this screen and the video. But just pay attention to what you're hearing, because I think there's a ploy behind this whole little scheme thing that they got going here. I think there's something going on in the background, but we'll talk about it after we get through the video here. Again, this is an update from something we covered yesterday about a pilot going and sabotaging a plane, and it's just not good. It's just not good. Let's go ahead and get it started.
Court documents say an off-duty pilot who tried to cut the engine power of an Air Alaska jet mid-flight over the weekend had taken psychedelic mushrooms 2 days before boarding and hadn't slept for 40 hours. That pilot, Joseph David Emerson, appeared in Oregon State Court for the first time on Tuesday. He pleaded not guilty to state charges through his attorney. They included 83 counts of attempted murder, one for every crew member and passenger on the plane besides himself, and a single count of endangering the aircraft, which was bound for San Francisco Sunday before it was diverted to Portland, Oregon. The flight crew told investigators that Emerson, who was sitting in a jump seat in the cockpit, tried to grab the fire suppression handles, and that he came close to shutting down hydraulic operation and fuel to both engines of the plane, and was seconds away from turning it into a glider. Federal prosecutors said that after the cockpit incident, Emerson, in wrist restraints, tried to grab the handle of an emergency exit during the flight's descent, but was stopped by a flight attendant. A court document later said Emerson told police he'd been depressed for the past 6 months. He'd taken magic mushrooms for the first time, and believed he was having a nervous breakdown. Medical research has shown that psilocybin, a naturally occurring hallucinogen found in certain mushroom varieties, commonly called magic mushrooms, to be beneficial as a treatment for anxiety, depression, and other mental disorders. Oregon is the first U.S. state to decriminalize psilocybin. Since 2020, it has legalized supervised therapeutic use for adults at least 21 years old. However, psilocybin remains strictly prohibited under federal law.
Well, anyways, I was reading, and so hopefully I don't catch a strike, because they were showing some organic goods on the screen there. I don't know. So stupid. Gotta watch what I say. Gotta watch the pictures on the screen. The things on the TV will get you. Ah, stupid YouTube. Their community guidelines kick my ass. Anyways, this guy tries to sabotage a plane, potentially put everybody's life in danger. And they're saying he was on the booms. And he was over there shrooming it up. I don't know about that. There's some questionable things said in that story. As someone who has been affected by organic goods in that field of study there multiple times. A lot. It frees your brain. My buddy who was in the military, he went and did some top secret testing. Nah, it wasn't top secret, but he did some testing because military people have networking skills like this, and he got to be paid to go do some testing with psilocybin out in a location somewhere. And he was gone for like 3 months, and they gave him psilocybin every single day and tested his brain while it was happening, and they discovered that it creates new neurological pathways in your brain. Basically new hallways for your brain to retrieve memory, your recall. And so it can improve the way your brain functions, it can optimize it, and it can also help your recall, according to the studies that were done, which is why in some places they're trying to decriminalize it. They're trying to decriminalize it here in Michigan. They've already held a magic mushroom fest in Ann Arbor, I think it was last year. It was the first one or something like that. Anyways, they're saying some things in that story that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. He was awake for 40 hours and then went to work the next day, or what? Because generally those effects are about 4 hours. And I mean, if you eat a ton of them, maybe you can keep going, maybe 8 hours, maybe 12 hours. If you make it 12 hours, your stomach is full of that material, and you're probably crapping your brains out. You're probably full of beer or coffee or water because you're just sitting there downing things because your body's cooking itself because you're poisoning your body on purpose for the effects of it. But you're not really going longer than 12 hours. Like, you're really not. You're not. If you're on LSD or something, then you start at 12 hours. But when you're rocking organics like that, 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, maybe. But if you just keep going and keep going and keep going, 12 hours, you're done. After 12 hours, you're pretty much toast. You ain't got a lot going on. You're not talking. You're fully burned out. Your brain is jello. Your skin is on fire and cold at the same time. You're tired. Your body isn't functioning properly anymore. Your friends have all gone to sleep. Like, there's just not a lot going on after 12 hours. So to tell me that you're doing that for 40 hours, you've been awake for 40 hours, and then you went and got on a plane and started behaving like an asshole, and it's because you thought you were having a panic attack? No. That's not it. No. I don't believe that at all. Not even kind of, sort of, a little bit. Not at all. I have friends that are such drug addicts that they're dead right now. Okay, they didn't go no 40 hours on some magic mushrooms and then go start acting like an asshole around town. That's not how it goes. It's just not how it goes. I've never seen it, never heard it, never experienced it myself. No. He was either doing something wrong. He either like lost his marbles and had a moment there and needed to blame something, or he had like recently did those and then had a bad trip, is what it's called. Anyways, as far as I know, and was currently under the influence of it and went and did it. What this really sounds like to me is that he made a bad choice. He was probably overly emotional when he went through it. And then when the charges hit, then they needed a plan. If you are under the influence of LSD or psilocybin or any other psychedelics, you are considered clinically insane. Now, you start throwing phrases like that in a court setting. Now we're looking like somebody's trying to get off the hook here. Oh, he was out of his mind. He didn't mean to do it. He was under the effects of a substance that he didn't understand. He needs a little slap on the wrist there. It needs to be cut loose because he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. He was a victim of drugs because it's a disease. It's not his fault he chose to do it. It just happened. Society pressured him into doing it. But he was clinically insane when it happened. So we need to excuse his actions and not hold him accountable to 84 counts of attempted murder or whatever the hell he's being charged with. No. He's the victim of drugs. And he was insane. Let's send him to the loony bin for about 5 days. He'll eat really good. He'll wear nice slippers. He'll get to watch TV all day. And then we'll kick him out to the county jail. He'll be processed over a period of 4 or 5 days. And then they'll let him out. And then they'll drop all the charges. They'll give him some lesser charge or event. They'll probably add the word conspiracy in there because that's just a blanket term that means that whatever happens here stays here. And I think that's what's going on. I think that they're throwing that whole psilocybin thing in there is so he has a firm crazy plea. He can say, I was out of my marbles. You can't hold me accountable for that stuff. I actually was in need of help. I wasn't the aggressor. I was the victim in the situation, and try and get off on a crazy plea. That's totally what I think is happening. I don't think he was tripping on organics for 40 hours and then went to work or decided to get on a plane and then had a panic attack. I don't think so. You'd be dragging so much ass, they wouldn't even let you on a plane. When was the last time somebody tried to get on a plane? You don't want to try and go through that with a hangover, let alone being up for 40 hours. It's just, I don't believe it. I think they're going for crazy plea all day. I think something else happened, and I think he lost his marbles, and I think he's waking up to what's happening here, and he's scrambling with his attorney, and his attorney's like, you better say you were crazy. You better say you were off your rocker. And the only way his coworkers would agree that this person has questionable thought processing going on is if he was under the influence of drugs. Because we also have been covering how pilots have been getting cracked down on hardcore because of health stuff going on. They've been lying on their health records because there's certain things that can happen on your health record that will prevent you from flying. You'll be grounded forever. And so we just covered that a month ago. They've been cracking down on these pilots. And so you're not able to just fly a plane willy-nilly. You got to qualify for it. If he says, no, I was crazy, I didn't mean to almost kill all those people on board, his coworkers are going to say, no, he's the top flight pilot. He's the man. When we need a pilot, this is our go-to guy. He's not off his rocker. And so a way to get through that hoop, say you were under the influence of drugs that clinically mean you were insane. I think this is his get out of jail free card. That's what he thinks. That's my 2 cents on it anyways. We're going to read through the chat really quick. We have one more video left talking about how there is states here in the U.S. that is suing Meta because of how social media affects your mental health, which I talk about almost every day. Hair juicer, shrooms in a cockpit sounds rad. Until things go left. I'm telling you, I've been in these situations, and it's fun when it's fun, but it is scary as hell when things go left. I cut my finger, my pinky, all the length of my hand while I was on vacation mentally with some of my friends quite a few years ago, probably 10 years ago. And we were all jamming to music and everything was all great. We were having a good time, and I cut my hand open, and it was not bad. It was a scratch, but there was blood everywhere because I'd been drinking beer and stuff. And it took 4 of us to wrap duct tape around my hand to get it to stop bleeding. And like 10 hours later, after everything's like calmed down and stuff and everything's wearing off and I'm sitting there watching TV and my hand is a duct tape glove, I'm like, I wonder how bad my hand really is. And the thing is none of us could drive. Otherwise, I was telling everyone I need to go to the hospital. We were borderline getting ready to call 911 because I didn't know if I was okay or not. Nobody in the house knew if I was okay or not. There was blood and we were scared and we're grown and we were just kind of freaking out in the middle of the woods in the middle of nowhere. After it all worn off, I took the duct tape off and it was just a scrape. It was just a scrape. It was not, like I thought I needed 40 stitches. No, it was just a scrape. But the thing is you were so out of your mind when you're doing that stuff that it's great when it's great. But man, when it goes wrong, you better have a sober person near you to be like, hey, am I okay or am I going to die? Because you don't know. Your brain isn't functioning properly. So being in a cockpit, yeah, flying through the sky, that's probably great. But when you're like, hey, let's do some Grand Theft Auto stuff, that's going to sound like a great idea too. And that's when things get scary. Let's see. And he probably did it for several days. Well, that's the thing is you can't. So like if you do it today and you go to sleep and you wake up, you can eat it tomorrow, but it won't do anything. Your system builds an immunity to it. So he would have to be eating every hour or 2 hours for 40 hours. And even then, 12 hours into it, you just feel like you're eating dirt. You ain't feeling anything. You're already burned all the way out. You can only fly as high as you can until your serotonin runs out. When you don't have serotonin in your brain anymore, in your body anymore, the fun is over. The fun stops because there's nothing there to give you the feeling. So you're just feeling like you worked all day. You're not doing that for 40 hours. Like I would love to see someone try for 20 hours. I don't even think it's possible. I really don't. We're going to read through the chat here before we move on to this last video. Let's see. Kevin, what if I was high flying around in a jetpack? I mean, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. These are not good choices that we're talking about, by the way, if people aren't figuring that out. Don't go do this stuff. Do not go do this stuff. These are not good choices. Rappy, yep, plead insanity. That's what I think he's doing. That's what I think he's doing. D-Cat, I agree with you on that one. You are clinically insane. Yep. Yep. Space Ghost, you think it's a victim of MK Ultra? Maybe of their own doing. I don't know. The other thing is he's not being charged with anything related to magic mushrooms, because if you get caught with it, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Real big deal. You're doing like federal charges. You're doing years You are doing years if you get caught with it. So to just say it willy-nilly seems like a big deal, but there's no consequences. There's no law under putting it in your system, I guess, after the fact. If you do something wrong under the influence of it, your wrongdoing matters. The influence doesn't really matter when it comes to that. Possession does. So for him to be like, yeah, I was on magic mushrooms, but they didn't catch him with it in hand, doesn't mean anything. He gets, like, it firmly feels like he's using it to plead insanity. If he was to be caught with the mushrooms, then he'd be facing major charges just like this attempted murder charge. And maybe, he'd be leveraging that. But they didn't catch him with that. So he's just saying that's what happened. There's also no way to test for it. I think they have to do a spinal tap or something to test for it, and nobody's like willing to do that. And that might only be LSD. That might not even be for magic mushrooms. So as far as I know, there's no way to actually test for it. He could just say it. Oh yeah, I was doing drugs I shouldn't have been doing, and yeah, I went and did some crazy stuff, but I was crazy, so you can't blame me. I don't know. It sounds all orchestrated to me. Let's see. Miss Jamie was off duty and tried to take over like a madman. Yeah, I don't know. Snooks, he was not the pilot. He made a grab for the wheel. Yeah, but he is a pilot though. He wasn't flying. He wasn't supposed to be flying the plane, but he is a pilot, which means that he knows even more not to do that, not to behave that way, especially if you've been up for 40 hours doing drugs. Probably don't go into your place of employment that's top flight security, such as an airport. This is, I don't think so. I just don't think so. Oh, it's my first time doing it. For 40 hours? Your first time doing it broke all the records for me and everyone I've ever met that's ever done it out here in West Michigan in the middle of the woods? Are you kidding me? Come on now. You weren't doing that for 40 hours on your first day. You'd never come out of it. You'd permanently be that way. You would think you're a milkshake. That's my go-to reference, because when we were a kid, there was somebody who did some stuff who thought he was a milkshake, and he fell over and started screaming, saying he was spilling out and that he was dying, and he went into a mental health he went into a home. He never came out of it. As far as I know, he still thinks he's a milkshake. So you're not going to do trips for 40 hours on your first day and just come out of it and be like, I'm sorry. No, you're not sorry. You'd be permanently think you're in Alice in Wonderland, and you're Alice or the rabbit, one or the other. It's not good. It's not good. Enterprise, maybe if it was dipped in crack, something. Cody, your friends have all gone to sleep. Best. Yeah. You know that feeling. You're like, you don't want the ride to end, but you look over and your friends are all passed out on the couch like this, and you're like, I guess we're at the end of the night. Nobody's awake having fun anymore. Kevin, my friend thought he was a Pokemon. Yeah, I gave a friend a weed brownie once, and he thought he was a robot. And we were all laughing. We thought it was funny. We were at work, and this guy went to take a delivery. We're not friends now because of this. But he went to take a delivery, and he didn't come back for 2 hours. And we were like, what the hell happened? Like, because I ate 2 of these, and he only ate a half of one. So I figured he was fine. We get a call from the hospital. He's been lodged into the hospital. He's having a panic attack. He's telling everyone he thinks he's a robot and he's going to die. And somebody needs to go to the hospital to retrieve the money in his pocket, because it doesn't belong to him. It belongs to the store, because he's a delivery driver. And, well, I was fired. I was fired because of this crap. I'm telling you, don't make bad choices. It ain't worth it. I was fired because of that crap. And yeah, it's fun while it's fun, but it's not when it's not. And then when that guy came back, he apologized to me. He's like, hey, I'm sorry that you got fired and all this. I was like, dude, I gave you that for free. I should charge you $10 for the half a brownie. I gave it to you for free. You thought you were a robot. You cost me my job, and you took your ass to the hospital like a little sissy. I'm disappointed in you. He was like, well, I'm really sorry. I don't care that you're sorry. I lost my job, you bastard. And then we're not friends anymore, so it is what it is. Yeah, don't turn into a robot. Don't do drugs. Don't make bad choices. These stories are funny now. They weren't funny back when the stuff was going on. Yeah, tell him, Klaus Daniels. Tell him. Don't make bad choices. It ain't worth it. What's up, Garlic Press? Happy freedom. Well, I'm hoping that this new speaker, Johnson, is a good guy. People seem optimistic about it. DeRosa shrooms may show up on specific drug tests designed for hallucinogens, but many common drug tests don't test for the compounds. Yeah. I've never seen a test for psilocybin. Not that it doesn't exist. I just have never seen it. And I've always been told if you have LSD that there's no way to test for it. They have to do a spinal tap, and a lot of times they're not willing to do that. Most of the time, if you just shut the hell up, then nobody knows anything. That's the real thing. They keep threatening Michiganders. They're like, we know when you're high and you're driving. If we pull you over, we'll be able to tell. And what they did is they made a card. There's actually a meme that kind of resembles this, but they made a card and they can like hold it up to your eye and then test your eye color. Do your eyes look high? If you just say no, there's no way for them to test. They were trying to do some mouth swab thing for a while there. And you hit some mouthwash and it just makes the testing inconclusive. I don't know. The police are goofy with that. They will lie their ass off to you. Most of the time when people get in trouble, it's self-incrimination because they talk. They talk too much. Let's see. Oh, hair follicle test? Yeah. The only time I've ever heard of people actually doing hair follicle tests is when they're trying to get a job for the government. Otherwise, I've never known anyone at a regular job that had to do a hair follicle test. The one person I know that did need to do a hair follicle test, they were applying for a government job and they qualified for it. They went to school for like rocket science or something. But they were bald-headed. It was black dude, bald-headed is just how he wears his hair. And they actually took hair off of his eyebrow because he didn't have hair anywhere else, I guess. And I was like, that's weird. I've never heard that. He's like, yeah, they took hair from my eyebrow. And he was all worried about it because he had been smoking weed or whatever because he's from Michigan. But I guess the test came back inconclusive and they just passed him anyways. They were like, it's good enough. You didn't test dirty, so you're good enough. You're good enough. Let's see. What is going on over here on GoofTube? What is going on here? It looks okay. Well, first of all, it looks like Nightbot needs to be adjusted. It's posting every 2 comments. MD Cyron. Also, never look in the mirror when you're on hallucinogens. I love that. I love that. But yeah, if you're not mentally fit and strong, then yeah, you can't. It'll get you. I like to. Never mind. I like doing that stuff. I like to face wonder right in the face. Just stare into the mirror and just watch my skin melt. It's so stupid. Not in a long time, though. I was young and dumb back then. What's up, CJ? Happy freedom. Appreciate you being here. Crypto, I feel like YouTube's going to lose a lot of subscribers, how they've been running things. They don't care. They're working on YouTube TV, which is their version of Netflix, which is why now when you go to YouTube, you see so many movie suggestions. Hey, rent this or buy this and blah, blah. Because their goal is to become Netflix. And so the more of that happens, the less they give a shit about creators or subscribers or any of that. If they got rid of us and all they were was Netflix, they could cut off 2/3 of their staff, because now they don't need anyone to monitor all of us creators and all the things we say and all the things we post and how funny we are. They won't have to deal with that anymore. They'll just cut us off as dead weight. They'll charge all of you money to rent and buy movies, and they'll be happy. They won't have to worry about community guidelines or anything. You'll just rent and watch crap that's pre-made by Hollywood, and they'll do away with all of us. That's what they're working on. They don't care about us. They don't care about content. They don't care about what's right or wrong. They just care about making money and keeping liberals happy, and that's all they care about. You be safe out there, Annette. All right, hooligans, we're going to move on to this last video here. It's titled U.S. State Sues Meta, Instagram, both, over kids' mental health. And we talk about this every single day, how social media is hurting all of us. It's affecting how we communicate, not whether you use your thumbs or your words, but the way that we talk to each other, the way that we feel the things we say to each other is acceptable. You know, back in the day, just being divorced would get you shunned in town. People wouldn't even sell you a biscuit if you were divorced. They would see that as terrible. You're, a dark spot on society. And now we walk up and just say crazy stuff to each other because we see it on the internet and we think that's appropriate. I don't know what's hurting all of us. Let's watch this. See what they say about it.
Dozens of U.S. states are suing Instagram and its parent company Meta, accusing them of fueling a mental health crisis among young people with their addictive social media platforms. In one of the lawsuits, the attorneys general of 33 states filed a joint complaint in the Oakland, California federal court on Tuesday, including New Jersey's Matt Platkin.
I'm joining dozens of other attorneys general across the United States in a massive undertaking to once and for all hold Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, and its CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, accountable for the deceptive practices and years of harm they have brought upon our young people.
According to the court filing, they are accusing Meta of repeatedly misleading the public about the dangers of its platforms and knowingly inducing children and teenagers into compulsive social media use to, quote, maximize its financial gains.
There needs to be more transparency.
Much of the lawsuit stems from a whistleblower's release of documents in 2021 that showed the company knew Instagram, which began as a photo-sharing app, was addictive. And it points to research that has linked children's use of Meta social media platforms with depression, anxiety, insomnia, interference with education and daily life, and many other negative outcomes. Meta said in a statement it was disappointed that the states chose to sue, quote, instead of working productively with companies across the industry to create clear, age-appropriate standards for the many apps teens use. 8 other U.S. states and Washington, D.C. filed similar lawsuits against Meta in other courts on Tuesday. That means, in total, 42 jurisdictions are taking action against the California-based company. Meta could face civil penalties of up to $50,000 for each violation of various state laws. It's an amount that could add up quickly, given the millions of children and teenagers who use Instagram.
Well, we've been talking about that a lot lately. We were talking about it yesterday. You should have to be 18 or 21 to be on social media. The way I described it yesterday is you wouldn't want your kids to go into a bar and just start talking to strangers in a bar, sitting there drinking and smoking cigarettes. But you let them on social media where they do the same exact thing. It's not any different. It's actually worse because you can't even overhear the conversation without hovering over your child. This person could be asking your child of anything. And we just covered a story yesterday about how people are targeting children on social media and asking them to provide self-made content so that person can then take that content and hold it over that child's head to blackmail them, because that's the kind of world we live in right now. It's terrible. And we discuss very often about how it affects people's mental health, not just how we all talk to each other in person and how we behave in public because we think it's acceptable. We're portraying social media in the real world because of the way it's shaped our mind. But it also affects young people because they connect their self-esteem to it. They see these likes, these comments, these views as value, as markers of their self-worth. And so when they put content on social media and the content doesn't do well, they don't think, oh, YouTube's screwing me. Oh, I'm shadow banned. They don't think that. They think they are worthless, that they don't offer value to the world, because otherwise the world would respond accordingly on their posts, not knowing that the system has the cards stacked against them as soon as they made the account. They don't think that. They think this is a balanced world. They see social media as the world. Whereas if you do the same hard work as somebody else, you'll get the same benefits. It's not how social media works. A lot of it involves you paying money to get your post boosted and stuff like that, or knowing somebody that works on the platform so you can have your post held above others and stuff. They don't know that. They're kids. They don't understand the politics of the world. They just think they don't have self-worth because their posts have low numbers. And it really hurts them. Think about how you felt when you were 15 or 16, 14, 13, any of those ages. Think about how you felt when somebody said something bad to you. Think about how you felt when you got just constructive criticism, which isn't even bad, but when you're a teenager, it's hard to hear bad things about yourself or hear bad things about the work that you're doing. You're putting yourself out there on social media. Just the likes, comments, and views alone is hurting them. Think about the trolls that show up and say bad things just because that's what they are there to do. It doesn't even mean that it's true. To tell you you're ugly, to tell you you're stupid, to tell you that the things you're doing isn't working, to tell you that you're not good enough. A teenager cannot hear those things. They already don't think they're good enough. They already feel bad about themselves, because that's part of maturing. That's part of being a teenager, is hating the body you're in until you learn to love it. That's part of being an adult, is getting to the point where you love your body without turning your wiener inside out. I mean, if that's what you got to do, then that's you, but don't do it to your kids. Jesus loves us. But that's what it is. And to go on social media and have people purposely tell you these things, that these evil thoughts are already rolling in the back of your head. We're lucky that teenagers turn into 20-year-olds at this point, because it is so bad. And I firmly believe in the future we will see restrictions on social media. You used to be able to drink a beer and drive without a seatbelt on while having your baby in the passenger seat sitting on mom's lap, cruising down the road, not even thinking twice about it, smoking cigarettes, because they thought cigarettes were good for you when they made them. That's all social media is. It's all of that. It's just ahead of its time. Well, it's not ahead of its time. The restrictions haven't came yet. You know, you got to be old enough to smoke cigarettes. There's conditions to smoking cigarettes. There's conditions to wearing a seatbelt. There's conditions that come with transporting your child for safety reasons. Social media just hasn't got that far yet. We'll have restrictions. They will come. Right now, they're just benefiting over trampling on our rights, using social media to take down our free speech, and they're just using it as a weapon against us. But after enough people wake up to how bad social media is for us, then the government will step back and say, oh, yeah, you're right, it is killing kids. You should be 18. You should be 21. You should not be allowed to do this. You should be allowed to do that. And they'll start making it more practical. But until then, they're just using it as a weapon to silence us. Anyways, we're going to read through the chat really quick. That is all the coffee I had for you hooligans today. I am going to drop the link tree link to all of you hooligans if you would like to donate or join membership programs. All of that is listed on the link tree. The more hooligans we have signed up on jeffmaclive.com and Rumble to the membership programs, the less being monetized on YouTube actually matters. Just kind of throwing that out there. Also, I would love for you guys to go check out the merch store. I have redone the entire merch store, so all the prices have been adjusted. All the designs have been adjusted for the most part. We have upgraded coffee mugs that look much better than the last ones did. The women's shirts have been improved to be more fitting to women. They were classic shirts, which is basically just a t-shirt. Now we have women's comfort shirts, which is more shapely for your female bodies. All the designs have been redone for that. I've created new items for the lady hooligans because ladies love things that men just simply don't care about. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a way that I was thoughtful in these items that I designed for the lady hooligans. So you can go check all that stuff out. We have fleece blankets and pillows and all kinds of things like that women love. And then we just created our new design, or we just put together our new design right here, the Spooky Hooligan t-shirts. Like I said, your best bet to get this before Halloween is to try and order today, and even then, there's no promises that you're going to get it before Halloween. You guys know I've been going through all kinds of crap in the last 2-3 weeks, from my car to everything else happening. My phone's taking a crap. So that is staggered the process of putting out this design. My apologies, but Halloween comes around every year, so you could buy it and get it when you get it, and it probably will be past Halloween. But you can wear it until Thanksgiving and still be in season, and we got Halloween next year. You could always wear it next year. So either way, I put the design together just to be festive. I'm trying to think of a Thanksgiving one so we can be on time with that, but I have tons of designs coming. I have, thanks to Edward, big shout out to Edward, turning me on to this software that has really simplified the design making process. In a lot of ways, it's a graphic design program that he sent my way. But we have lots of shirts. I have 35 designs right now waiting to come out. Pro 2A stuff, Orange Eagle stuff, making punches great again. T-shirts are coming out, like all made. They're ready to go. Ready to go. I just don't want to release it all at once. So we're starting off with the Spooky Hooligan shirt. Like I said, you can find that on the merch store, on the link tree that I just provided to all of you. What I ask after all of that, donations, membership program, and the merch stores, what I want you to do is go join Gilded. Gilded is free and currently the best way to receive notifications for when and where we go live. Every time we go live, there's hooligans on Gilded 24/7, keeping the conversation going about everything happening from their daily lives to news breaking. We also have a news board to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. If you're not into mingling and doing a lot of conversation and stuff, you can hang out in the news board. We have tons of tabs on there. Keep the conversation going, so go join Gilded. It is free. You can access it from your computer, or you can download the app on your phone to receive the notifications right from your phone. That's how I prefer it. But a lot of hooligans like to use their computer, so it is what it is. Go give it a try. And if you're feeling real saucy, go try jeffmaclive.com. You can get a free week at the top of the link tree. Free week, no strings attached. It's not a trial run. It's a week for you to see all the cool things we're doing on jeffmaclive.com, and then your access will expire and you'll have to get a membership program if you want to continue on. But we're not going to charge your credit card. It's not a trick. It's not a scam. I wouldn't do that to you. It's just a free week to go check it out. And it's going to expire near my birthday in March, so take advantage of it now. Don't wait for it to expire, because when it does, you'll just have to pay the $10 to figure out what we got going on over there. So take advantage of it now. Let's see. CJ, we have flags. Click on the link tree, scroll down to where you see merch. There's a merch store for shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and then there's another merch store that is hats, beanies, flags, patches, and other cool stuff like that. But we do got it. We do got it. Why? Why right now? All right, hooligans. With that being said, this is that time once again. Right when my voice is cutting out. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Why? Why is my voice getting all messed up right now? Either way, we did the thing, did the pledge, covered the news, released the new shirt, updated you guys on the website. Screaming goat. I appreciate all of you hooligans. You guys are fantastic. We will be gaming at 6 p.m. Eastern time over on Kick, Jeff Mac Live, and on Jeff Mac Gaming on YouTube. You can find that at the bottom of the link tree if you want to come hang out with us. Just a couple hours. Hang out and forget the problems around us. If you want to come have fun with us, we'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. For everyone else, we will be live tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I appreciate all of you hooligans. Big shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support. I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.